Hello, and welcome to True 100% Plus, episode 25. Yeah, so this has obviously been pretty delayed, and you won't believe the reasons why. Yeah, it's been a pretty big roller coaster. If anyone follows me on Twitter, they have a rough. You have a rough history of what happened with this episode, but this was not a fun episode, and I'm really sorry this is as delayed as it is. And I'll really try to get back on releasing them a bit quicker than this. But yeah, this whole situation wasn't going my way this week. It's been longer than a week now, isn't it? I don't know. But yeah, I'll get into that later. We have a lot of time to talk. This video is really long, and it's a really good video, so I hope it makes up for it. But yeah, so let's not dwell on that too much. I sound like a broken record every episode, just like, sorry, every time. But yeah, right off the start here, just a really short segment, just some prep before, like, the main event. So I picked up the armor, obviously, and now I'm going to pick up the Sawnov shotgun, which is located inside of this thing here. There we are. Thankfully my CJ is so fat that I can just jump into it without having to do a lot of complicated parkour stuff. So that's nice. But yeah, there's my Sawnov shotguns. Now I mess around for a little bit before I go make a save file. But yeah, this episode is about the horseshoes and how I'm going to get all the horseshoes in Los Venturas. I do it in a fairly unique way, I believe. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, it was a pretty big challenge. The stuff I wanted to do turned out to be really damn hard in the end. So it took me a really long time to record this. And that was like, I've had the recording on my computer for a few days now, and so I've been able to commentate it and stuff. But the major delay was recording the gameplay. It was the hardest part. But yeah, so yeah, horseshoes are hard. And yeah, I'm just messing around with this packer. I made this segment you're watching. I made like, oh geez, I don't know. We'll see when the save file was made. I don't even how long it is. I don't remember when it was anymore. Really damn long ago. Yeah, I can't drive up a packer. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, then the next segment took ages to record as well. But yes, I'm gonna get all the horseshoes in Los Venturas, and that is literally all we do this episode. It's just horseshoes. It's an hour and a half of horseshoes. So I hope you're okay with that. But it's an hour and a half, so hope most of you will be happy, right? I'm sure most people will just set the speed to like 1.5 now. So I'm probably talking like this for everyone else, but I'm not talking really fast because the speed is really high, yeah. Anyway, I didn't get to see when the save file was. Oh yeah, we'll see it now because I messed up this editing a bit. Yeah, there you go. I didn't read it in time. In the video, I forgot to like look at the load screen, so I didn't get to make a clean cut there. So I had to cut it really weird when I walked outside the thing. But yeah. Right, so here's a monster truck. You're probably familiar with this monster truck. For those who aren't, go back and watch my previous episodes. I don't know where this one originates from, but I'll give you the brief rundown. This monster truck is bulletproof, collision-proof, melee-proof, fireproof, and explosion-proof. So, for all intents and purposes, it's near invincible. It has a few weaknesses, which I'll get into later. A few very key weaknesses, but for the most part, it's completely invincible. And I'm going to use this to pick up all the land-based horseshoes that there were. And I say land-based horseshoes, like horseshoes that I can grab from land, right? So the horseshoes are supposed to be a late-game collectible item. They're supposed to be the hardest ones. And you're supposed, I guess, to use a jetpack to pick them all up, because they're all in, like, jetpackable spots, I guess. Yeah, so you're supposed to have a jetpack at this part of the game. It's, like, really late game, so you're supposed to be able to pick them up with that. It makes it a bit easier. But when you're doing it early on, without access to a jetpack, and with permanent 4 stars, it gets pretty hard to pick up all those horseshoes. But there are ways and means. One of the ways is with an invincible monster truck. It makes the invincible monster truck makes this a lot easier, but it removes one of the challenges, but it adds a couple more, and yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't add a couple more, but it's like, you shouldn't think that just because I have an invincible monster truck, that's it, game over, it's all easy, right? Like, I'll get into why later, but it doesn't make it completely easy. It makes it a lot easier, but it's still not easy to do this. What else was I saying? Yeah, so there's like land-based ones. There's also like ones that you can't possibly grab without a jetpack on land. So they're like the helicopter ones. I'll get those separately towards the end of the video. Yeah, so I made like a little route map of what I was going to pick up, and I'll put that on screen now, and I'll show you where all of the land-based horseshoes that I was getting were. So if you want to have a good look at that, just pause the video, I guess, and go back and look at it. I won't leave it on screen too long. But yes, so you may have noticed that I just drove my invincible monster truck into water. No, it's not so invincible that it can swim. But what we can do is a good old trick we love doing here. A good old true 100% is the undrowning glitch. So this is a new spot. I've only used one spot previously, I believe, to undrown vehicles to get stuff from San Fierro to Los Santos. But this route allows us to get stuff from Los Santos to Los Venturas, which is very useful. The only problem with it is, one, I'm trying to do a monster truck, and if you watch my previous episodes, you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to push a monster truck underwater. And two, it's very small, so the monster truck doesn't really fit. But over the many retries of this segment, I have figured out a way to do it. And it's very difficult. But yeah, so this is the bit of the recording where this is what took me like a week straight of like trying to record, is this segment. And it was really horrible as well, because at the start of it, it starts with, like, you know, me driving a monster truck for 5 minutes or whatever, and then I push a monster truck underwater for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then I finally get to do the actual horseshoe collecting, right? And that's the bit where I normally, you know, die and stuff. So it was just made it a real nightmare to keep retrying this over and over again. It was just had such a slow start to it. But thankfully, over time, I managed to optimize the driving. Well, not the driving too much, but I managed to optimize this. So this is what we need the Saw-Knobs for. As you could see earlier, I was pushing the monster truck with the Saw-Knobs. So you can like rotate it a bit and push it a tiny bit, but I mainly only just use it for rotation. Because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to line the monster truck up perpendicular to the wall, heading from west to east. Right, so I push it from west to east into the undrowning spot. Oh yeah, I didn't explain undrowning. If you don't know what undrowning is, go back and watch like episode 3, I guess. I'm not explaining that every time it happens. But yeah, so I just slowly nudge the monster truck into this tiny little undrowning spot. And if I push it from this direction, I sort of just hit it before the monster truck gets stuck. You'll notice when I do it, because the monster truck sort of like flops. It's like right now it's all floaty and stuff, but when we get into the spot, it like flops down and like suddenly has gravity again. I notice it immediately, but you should see it when it happens as well if you pay close attention. Should happen any second now. But yeah, so while we're doing this, I guess I can discuss the other challenges of this. So obviously having an invincible monster truck helps. Getting the invincible monster truck to Los Venturas was kind of hard, as we're seeing, but we get there at the end. And then I'm like, while I'm driving around, I'm near invincible, right? So one of the weaknesses of the invincible monster truck is flipping over. So if it lands on its roof, and it stays on its roof for a good 5 seconds or something, it catches fire, just like any vehicle in this game, right? So it's not invulnerable. Oh, sorry, I was scratching my foot. It's not invulnerable to catching fire while upside down. So it being a monster truck, the police kind of flipped me over a bit. But thankfully, the monster truck likes to grind along the road on its side quite a lot instead of landing on its roof. So most of the time I'm just sliding on like the doors or whatever. But because it's invincible, it doesn't take any damage, so it's mostly fine. So that one's not too bad. I do have a couple recordings where I failed because the monster truck flipped on its roof and blew up and I couldn't flip it in time, but it's very rare. Anyway, there's the flop, you could see it, so that's when I know it's ready to drive. So there we go, driving on the water. And yeah, there's a undrowning, not undrowning, there's a beach just up this road that I can get onto land with. So yeah, that's one of the challenges, is not flipping over. Another weakness of this strategy is getting busted, obviously. So when I get in and out of the monster truck, I'm obviously not moving, and it has like very big doors that the police can get to. I guess I don't know, make any sense, but yeah, you can get busted. And the monster truck isn't the fastest vehicle in the world, so it's kind of easy for the police to get you if they do quickly enough. Thankfully, we have the horn. So you hold down the horn button and the police wave their arms at you, or middle finger, some people have said, or whatever. And then they like don't bust you because they're too busy waving their arms at you. So that kind of helps a lot. So if you hear me like randomly randomly using the horn, oh god, that still sounds bad. You know what I'm saying? If I do that at some point, it's because I don't want to get busted. And the third weakness of this strategy is CJ. CJ is very, very squishy. He likes to die a lot. And unfortunately, monster trucks, obviously, and like any collectible in this game, they need to be collected on foot. So right there, that's a good example of a simple horseshoe, because I can park the monster truck literally next to it to get out, pick it up, and get it straight back in. We're not near a road. There's only on-foot police with handguns that are spawning. It's mostly good. You can still die in those situations if like there's a shotgun guy or two, or there's like the micro SMG police and stuff. This one's another easy one as well because it's just like, you know, it's an enclosed place. There's no police and stuff. So yeah, these ones are mostly okay. So these first few horseshoes are pretty simple, but you'll see later on it gets a lot more complicated with what I'm trying to do. Oh yeah, here's some. Yeah, there you go. So it stays on its side. See, it doesn't flip over. So I can like slowly self-right it and it's fine. But yeah, so those are the challenges of this, and it took me a very long time to be able to record this. There's also a few horseshoes which pose a greater challenge, but I'll get into those when we get there, hopefully. But yeah, there are a few run killing the horseshoes. I'll call it run, but like segment recording killing horseshoes doesn't sound as good, so yeah. But we got there in the end, obviously, we got there in the end. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and not rate every horseshoe. Last episode or a few episodes ago, I did the NRG challenge, and I didn't rate every Corona of the NRG. And I didn't do that on purpose, but it was a good test of how people would take it. And only a few people thought it was funny that I didn't do it, just mentioned it, but yeah, I really don't want to. It ruins the flow of the commentary when I have to stop what I'm saying and arbitrarily rate every collectible instantly, so yeah, I've decided I'm not going to rate every collectible anymore, I'm sorry. If I was doing this the intended way, then maybe they'd all be a bit better, or like, you know, different ratings and stuff, but yeah, when I'm running away from the police and I have stuff to talk about, I don't want to rate them. I'll probably briefly talk about each horseshoe if there's an interesting one or whatever, but I'm not going to give everyone like a 5 or whatever like I was doing before. But yeah, so those first few horseshoes were okay. There was like the one at the church or whatever that was a little bit challenging sometimes, but most times it was normal. This one's interesting because when I run around here, grab this and run back, there's always an army of police officers in between me and the monster truck. So I took a bit of damage there on my armor. And the same thing will happen on the next horseshoe as well, which is like right next to this one here. So I'll like get out the monster truck, you know, get out of the monster truck, jump over there. By the time I pick up the horseshoe and turn around, there's always like an army of police there. And sometimes like a SWAT van turns up. I think they're SWAT vans. The enforcers, they're like, you know, the guys with the micro SMGs, there's like 4 of them, they turn up and really wreck you. But yeah, I tried to route like armor into my route I was doing. So if you looked at the map earlier, there were like little blue crosses. That's where all the armor spawns were that I could like reasonably get and stuff. Well, some of them I couldn't, but yeah, I was like the ones I knew I could get. But no, I mean the ones I thought I could get. Is what I'm saying. So yeah, obviously there's an armor spawn right here. So I took a little bit of damage and I'm right here, so I decided to pick it up and then climb up to this horseshoe. So yeah, I had to use a different car there because you can't actually jump on top of the monster truck from ground, at least not with my CJ. Maybe if you had like a leaner CJ, he'd probably jump higher, but mine doesn't jump very high. It's kind of a problem. Especially when a lot of these are like on top of buildings and stuff and I'm needing to climb things, it becomes a bit of a problem later on. But yeah, so far all these horseshoes were pretty easy and stuff. This looks easy, right? It's like I'm in an invincible monster truck. How hard could it be? And yeah, the driving around bit is easy because I don't have to worry about, you know, being pushed around. I don't have to worry about taking like bullet damage and blowing up and stuff like that. So it definitely makes it a lot better, but yeah, still pretty challenging. And yeah, you can see I'm honking all the time. I think I was doing it just then. I like honk every now and then just to make sure there's no on-foot police out of camera sight and that bust me and stuff. Alright, this next horseshoe is an interesting one, bit of a challenge. So you can see it just there at the top of your screen. It's gone now, but there's like a little horseshoe in one of these cubby holes. These things down here, it's like horseshoes in here. Now this is another time where like my running around, it takes me so long that the police can spawn. Like, see, there's people shooting me now. And I'm also taking a little bit of health damage as well, which is a problem. But yeah, you can see I'm like taking damage, so I still like kind of eventually die doing this. But yeah, as the enforcer, those things, yeah, they are a worst nightmare. Normally they, like when I'm going on a police rampage, they give me armor, but here I have like no time to like get out of the safety of the monster truck and get into one of those, pick up armor and get back out, right? It doesn't work. Here's a bit of a weird horseshoe. It's just randomly in the... Oh yeah, what's that helicopter doing? Oh yeah, this is this take. Yeah, so there's a helicopter. It spawned here. It kind of spawned in the roof. And I think about trying to steal it for a little bit, but yeah, it doesn't come towards me, unfortunately. If it was like a little higher up, I could probably like just steal it. I'm not sure what I would do if I did steal it. I would probably just instantly blow up, right? So it probably wouldn't be too useful. So I'm glad I didn't in the end. But yeah, that's apparently a thing that can happen. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this horseshoe is kind of interesting. It's just in the middle of this car park for, like, no reason. It's just like, why? Not on the top. Not on the bottom. Just here. It's not even exactly in the middle, I don't think. It's like 2/3 of the way down. Oh yeah, and that wall I just went through, that is has no collision for some reason. These walls have collision, just that one wall there in this car park doesn't. I don't know why. It's so weird. Okay, so here comes the next horseshoes in my... Well, I originally wasn't doing these horseshoes in my route, but I kind of got pretty lucky today, so you'll see what happens. So first of all, I managed to find that if you reverse really slowly the monster truck, it actually does go up here, otherwise it doesn't. You can't do it forwards and you can't do it backwards fast. But yeah, so I just park my monster truck on that bit because it's easy to get to and it's out of the way of the police, so they won't bust me or anything. And here's this horseshoe. Nice horseshoe up here. And then the helicopter comes straight towards me. And I don't know if you've ever seen horseshoe speedruns of this game before, but this is an idea I borrowed from there, and I don't know where they got it from. But the helicopters interact very oddly with this pyramid. So if I stand down it like this, they actually kind of come a bit lower. And since I can gain height so fast here, I can actually catch them. So like run up and catch them and get inside of them. Unfortunately, in this take, I don't actually manage to get inside that news helicopter. What I do, however, is get inside this police maverick. And then I think I pause out of confusion. I'm just like, wow, did that actually happen? Probably should edit that out. It's only short. So yeah, there's a police maverick. Everyone who wanted me to get inside one. There it is. Unfortunately, there's a Hydra that immediately takes pot shots at me. So I decided to just use this maverick to only get this horseshoe here on top of this thing. Like that. And then, yeah, it falls out. And I didn't want to risk, like, flying around in a helicopter this early and, like, getting shot down with a Hydra. But they're really brutal. You saw it. As soon as I got into that police maverick, it spawned and gave me a good shot. But yeah, that was incredibly lucky. In all of my other takes, I never managed to get a helicopter anywhere near to me there. But that time, just really quickly, just a helicopter just came straight up to me and I got in it. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I have entered a police maverick. All the people that keep track of what car I've been in. There's the police maverick. Only the news helicopters go, and I'll do it at some point in the past to save. But yeah, so that's a pretty cool horseshoe. I told you this episode's going to be pretty good. There's lots of little cool things like that in this episode. It's nice. Oh yeah, these roadblocks are kind of trivial to me. I just completely invincible. Just drive past them. Right, so this horseshoe here is a bit of a nightmare. It's another one of those I need to be on foot for a really long time horseshoes. And this wall here that I'm about to jump off of, this little floor thing, it's really hard to climb back up that. It's a real nightmare. So yeah, you can see I'm getting shot at by handguns. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's like, you know, death by 1,000 cuts. It's just keep getting shot by them. So I decided to take a few of them out here. Do a pretty crappy job, but it's fine. I can just rocket launcher my... Does that go through my monster truck? Oh, I didn't even realise that at the time. Okay. Apparently the missile missed my monster truck. And yeah, you can see I'm having difficulty jumping up here. There you go. It's like, goddamn, that platform is so annoying to climb. But yeah, it did. Wow, I hit a car behind it. That's odd. Okay. Well, what I was trying to do was shoot my invincible monster truck so it would kill all the police officers near it. That explains why there were so many police still shooting me. It's because I missed somehow. I'll have to... I'm going to, like, watch that back. I'll put it in the video. These next 3 horseshoes are really boring. It's just randomly in airports. And there's, like, a rocket launcher ammo I pick up. But, yeah, I'm gonna watch that back and edit into the video and see what the hell happens there. That's really weird. Alright, so looking back at it, it looks like I just shot the rocket straight under the monster truck and hit the car on the other side. Alright then. But yeah, so here's this rocket launcher ammo. It's actually fairly well hidden. I didn't know about it until fairly recently, at least this year. So yeah, that's why I'm like confident using rocket launcher ammo. I just picked some up there, so I should be alright. And yeah, so there was one horseshoe there, like in the airport next to the terminal. Then there's one horseshoe here, just in the middle of nothing for some reason. And then there's another horseshoe over that way, just next to nothing again. I don't know why there's 3 horseshoes. Oh yeah, and this one is like higher up than all the other horseshoes. Like, look how high up it is. It's like really off the ground. And it's not high enough to jump for it, but it's still high enough to be noticeable. It's like, did someone different place that one or something? It's really weird. Oh yeah, and here's like a unusual tactic of putting my vehicle between me and the police. So like, if they shoot, they just shoot my invincible monster truck, doesn't matter, but yeah. And then I was honking to make sure he didn't bust me again. But yeah, those 3 horseshoes in the airport are kind of odd. The one next to the terminal makes a bit of sense. I think that's a terminal anyway, I don't know what to call it, but the other 2 are like, just randomly placed for no reason. It's so strange. But yeah, I guess if I were to rate them, I'd rate them all like a 2. Proximity penalty and all that, you know. But yeah, the next few... Where am I going? Oh, I guess I want health. Yeah, so my favourite place for getting health here is this casino, the one where Mad Dog tries to kill himself. Yeah, I'm trying to get this guy to spawn. So there's this guy that sells noodles here. Oh, I missed it. Okay, I didn't get it. So you got that guy that sells noodles. Ooh, that guy almost got me. And then there's like these 2 guys here. And I like these because they're a lot faster than vending machines, and I don't risk my monster truck despawning by like using restaurants and fast food places and stuff. That's happened to me quite a few times. There's like a 24/7 shop later on where there's a horseshoe right next to it, and I kept going in there to get... Why am I pausing? That's kind of weird. I kept going in there to like get vending machine, but every time I walked out there'd be like an army of police officers, and they'd also... My monster truck like half the time despawned because I parked it too close or whatever, so yeah, I decided to stop using those and use those guys instead. I like those spots. There's probably like other those other food guys I could find, but yeah, I was just using those 3 because they were pretty good. And whoa, holy crap, I don't remember that happening. Yeah, Jesus, that was flipping close. That was so close to either like sitting on top of me and killing me or busting me. God damn. So yeah, I decided to get back to the safety of the monster truck, drive away and come back, and yeah, they've all despawned, thankfully. So I'd give this one another shot. So yeah, this is another horseshoe that's like too far away from the monster truck, so it's like a risk. And I like turn my back on the road, so loads of cops spawn and stuff. And also I kept forgetting how to climb up this, but I got there in the end. So yeah, there's this horseshoe behind this waterfall, it's a pretty nice one. And yeah, I'm just gonna apply liberal use of the RPG to get rid of the police that are there. And yeah, again, like the other one earlier, this one is a real pain in the ass to climb up. Thankfully I managed to get it first time. Seems like the best idea is to like do it at an angle or something. It's really annoying. This next horseshoe is actually pretty fun, trying to do this without a jetpack. So with a jetpack it'd be really lame because it's just on top of this with like no challenge or anything. But without a without one, you have to climb this wall like this and do this cool parkour stuff. Like this. It's pretty nice actually. Oh, and a Turismo goes past. Yeah, I saw a few rare cars while I was here, but I don't think I dared like steal any. That was kind of weird. I like bounced off the wall and then onto the thing. Huh. That was kind of odd. Don't remember that. I obviously noticed at the time though because I was shaking the camera around it, right? So yeah, we've got 19 horseshoes now, I think that said. So just almost halfway there. But it doesn't feel it. It's a long video. So here's the 24/7 I was talking about when my monster truck kept despawning here. Yeah, 20 out of 50, yeah, okay. So yeah, I used to use that, but now I use other stuff for health. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh god, I'll keep it rolling. Whatever. I ain't really recorded anything. This next horseshoe is another interesting one without the jetpack. Oh, that was close. So yeah, you have to do a bit more parkour. Ooh, a shotgun guy spawned. That's scary. So like, yeah, I had to kill him. That shotgun guy really wrecks your health. There's only very few police that are worth actually fighting. The rest is just quicker to run past, and you take less damage that way, like the handgun guys. But the shotgun guys, if he was going to like stay there and keep shooting me, it was totally worth killing him there. And yeah, you can see how quickly this goes south. If I hadn't fully healed a minute ago, I would have been dead. So I have to take the time to like heal again. And this is a lot of what this is, right? It's just this is what the monster truck is useful for, just having a safe-ish place, or rather safe vehicle to be able to be in and just drive around and not have to worry about anything while driving to places. And then I can like, you know, get out of the car on my own terms. I don't need to like get out of the car if it gets blown up or anything and then try to find another one. It's just a nice safe haven to stay in while I struggle with stuff. And yeah, finally, I think this is when I finally decided to just use these two and not the other one. The other one's on the road, it's way more risky. And yeah, now we go refill the armor as well. So yeah, the next horseshoe is a pretty interesting one on my route. The next horseshoe is on a ledge, out of reach. So it probably would have been wise to have left it for the helicopter segment. But I decided that I was going to torture myself and make recording this 1,000 times harder and do what I do instead. Which you'll see, I don't want to spoil it. Oh, stuff's blowing up, that's kind of weird. But yes, I absolutely need like completely maximum health for this, like max armor and max HP, otherwise I will not survive what I'm about to do. A few of you may have like guessed what I'm about to do. It's something I've wanted to do in this series. I don't think I've done it so far in this series. Don't think so, so a few of you might be surprised, but it's a pretty cool thing. I'm pretty happy I managed to get it. It took a lot of practicing. I came here with like, you know, cheats enabled and no police and full health and stuff like that, and practiced it a few times until I got it down. And I lost a lot of segments messing it up as well. So, and I also lost a lot of segments getting shot by the police that spawn afterwards. But yeah, so this is this little shopping center mall thing. I don't know what it's called. And over here, there's a horseshoe, and how will I ever reach it? Well, you see, I have satchels. Oh yes, I'm about to do what you think I'm about to do. It's so damn good. And thankfully, I didn't get completely fucked by the police as well. Woohoo! So I managed to get away with it. Yeah, and you can see how happy I am with the honking. So that was the major run killing part of this, the first one anyway, is that satchel jump. So what you could do is, if you jump and blow up a satchel at exactly the same time, you can give yourself a jump boost, and you can get really, really high up. You can also do it with grenades, but that requires... the timing is different. It's like you don't need to press 2 buttons at exactly the same time, but you also need to, you know, jump when the grenade blows up. So, but yeah, that is harder to place grenades as well. But yeah, that's satchel jumping. I think that's the only one I actually do. There were a few horseshoes I maybe could have satchel jumped up to, but it would probably take like two satchels, which would put me to like 2 health, if anything. And then I can't really survive. I think I actually die with 2 satchels, I'm not too sure. But yeah, so I'm gonna go around and pick up armor and stuff again. Yeah, just to make sure I'm full health. Like, it's so unpredictable how much damage the police do to you, I just don't want to take a risk. I don't think I get close to death in this segment, in this recording, I'm not sure, but there were plenty of times where I was like really close to dying, and quite glad I fully healed all the time. So yeah, it was definitely worth it. Yeah, like I said, this segment took a week to record, so I don't want to keep hammering on about that. I'm just trying to think of other stuff to talk about while we're driving around. I keep checking the map and stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, so the reason I'm checking the map here, I'm like showing the next one is actually underground, like in this train tunnel. So I was like showing that. But also, I so rarely got past that horseshoe that I kind of don't know the rest from memory anymore. So all of those horseshoes, I remember the route and I've like memorized it now. That's how many times I've done it. But all the other ones I haven't done that many times, so I kind of have to remind myself where they are. But yeah, so here's the train tracks. We just kind of follow the train tracks into the tunnel because the horseshoe is in the tunnel. Do I get a train to spawn? I think a train spawns now. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, we have to watch out for trains, obviously, being in a train tunnel. And it's only like 1 train wide, so if a train comes past, it's a pretty big problem. Especially like flipping over is the only weakness of the monster truck and stuff. And oh no, a train! So yeah, a train actually does spawn here. Thankfully, it's one of those flatbed trains, so when I get pushed through it, I don't get completely screwed up, and I just sort of land on the train instead. So that was really lucky. Now I'm quite on edge, worrying about another train. The worst time for a train to come past would be as soon as I get out of the monster truck. That would be the worst time. Thankfully, that never actually happened to me. It only ever happened when I was driving. And I could sort of... Sometimes I blew up when I got stuck in the train and the wall and stuff, but other times it's fine. Yeah, there's a good bribe start. Another train spawns. There's 3 trains. What the hell? Ridiculous. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting horseshoe. This one here is just on top of this building. Just have to climb this thing. Again, with a jetpack, this would be a really crappy horseshoe. Like, where is it? Where is this? It's just on top of some random roof, some random building with no relevance at all. And yeah, I've like already lost all my armor. You can see how much the police can shred you sometimes. Just ones like that where you have to turn your back to the road and they all spawn behind you while you're not looking. It's really annoying. So this is a place we've been before. This is the V-Rock Hotel, which is obviously a parody of the Hard Rock Hotel. And up here, there's a swimming pool, and we've actually been here once before because there was an oyster in the swimming pool. But there is also a horseshoe, so there we are. Nice diving board straight into the horseshoe, and that's the halfway mark. Is it halfway? Christ, we're only half an hour in. Yeah, the next horseshoes get a little harder, I think. At least the helicopter ones do. So yeah, that's a pretty nice horseshoe. Fortunately, it's like right next to the oyster, so it gets proximity penalty if you want to rate it, but I still think it's pretty nice. Oh, I could flip for my measure, for good luck, I guess. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, so normally when I record these episodes, I have like a list of notes of stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, for some reason this week I didn't keep notes of things to talk about. And it's been so long that I don't remember like what relevant stuff there is to talk about the past week. E3 is happening right now, but I kind of don't actually watch E3, I just watch all the trailers that are released afterwards and read all the news and stuff. It's like way better to consume it that way in my opinion than sitting through all the marketing bullshit and then finally getting the trailer, which itself is marketing bullshit, but yeah, anyway. So I think it's more fun to just watch the actual trailers themselves. And especially being in the UK, I could just go to sleep while it's happening, wake up, and all the trailers and stuff have been posted in the morning, and I just watch it the next morning. It's pretty nice. But also, while E3 is happening, I have been doing a thing at my university called Game Jam. A few of you might have heard of that term before. But it's basically trying to make a video game in a really short time period. And then we have like competition to see who's the best game and stuff. The way my university does it is that we get given 3 random articles from Wikipedia. We all have the same articles. And then we have to try and make a game around it, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. Except it's more like 4 days, not 5, because you lose so much time with all the stuff you have to do on Monday and the stuff you have to do on Friday. So it's more like 4 days, 9 to 5. But yeah, trying to make a video game in that short a time span, I don't know if any of you have any experience with doing that. But that's not enough time, so it becomes a battle of who can make the least janky video game in that amount of time. And that seems to always happen during E3, so I sort of like get to talk to other people about it and stuff like that. It's pretty nice, just having around, chilling, hanging around, doing stuff. Unfortunately, I haven't done much programming very recently, because I've kind of been busy with, you know, this stuff. So I'm a bit out of touch. And I'm also using Unreal Engine 4, which is not an engine I've ever made a game in before, so I'm like, really rusty. So it's not going too well so far. And also, something that happened is that Emma also managed to dislocate her other knee. That's right, the other one. She did the other one some other time. But yeah, last night, on Monday, she managed to dislocate her knee. While she was getting into bed, and that kind of interrupted my recording of this commentary. So this was going to get released yesterday, but that happened. It also made it so she can't come to university because she was on my team helping me. So we lost our only 3D modeler, so now we don't have one, and we were struggling to like find replacements and stuff. So yeah, it has not been going too well, but we'll see what happens at the end of the week. I was planning on like recording a vlog type thing about the week, but without my camera woman, it's kind of a bit harder. So I didn't record anything today because I was by myself. It's Tuesday for me, by the way. It's the second day of it. Anyway, this is kind of a cool horseshoe without a jetpack. I don't know if there's a better way onto this building, but this is the way I was doing it because I liked it. Just climbing on that air conditioning and my monster truck at the same time. It's pretty nice. But yeah, one benefit to Emma having dislocated her knee while I was recording is that I have a really cool recording of Emma screaming as she dislocates her knee. I don't know if, you know, you guys might not know, but dislocating a joint is like one of the most painful things you can do, right, Emma? Yeah, she's nodding. Yeah, it's pretty painful. So I got this really awesome scream of Emma's while I'm recording. I'm not sure how many people want to listen to it, but I decided I'm going to put it in this episode, just right now. So yeah, you could listen to a little bit of my commentary from the last episode, and then the stream happens. If you really don't want to listen to it, just skip like a minute or two or something, I don't know. So, the game becomes get in the monster truck, stay in the monster truck as much as possible. Yeah, there you go. So it was literally as I was recording the audio for this, right? So then obviously I had to like tend to her and stuff. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I couldn't finish the recording in the end of the commentary. And honestly, the first take of commentary that time, I felt it was kind of poor. So I'm kind of glad I managed to. Well, not managed to. I'm kind of glad that I had to cancel it and do it again. Trust me, that commentary last time was pretty bad, so you really didn't miss much. Yeah, also, it's like kind of hard to make it out. I don't know if you can hear it or not. She's like in another room. She's trying to like dry her hair, but because the hairdryer is so loud, she went to another room because she knows I'm trying to record. So she shut all the doors on the way, right? So she's on the other side of my apartment, with every door in between us shut, and that's how loud the scream was afterwards. At the time, I just thought it was some girls messing around screaming and stuff outside. Until I realised all the windows were shut, and then I was like, wait, what? So I just instantly cut the recording off and then went to see what was wrong. But yeah, so that was a whole bundle of fun to deal with yesterday. So yeah, sorry it was delayed. I had a really legitimate reason this time, and evidence. But yeah, she's fine now. She's sat next to me. It's just her knee hurts and stuff. Yeah, so that's what was happening with me while this kind of dull bit was happening, where I was just picking up health and armor and stuff. And obviously I'm still playing iRacing a fair bit, although I haven't since Game Jam started, and yeah, just the usual. And this is when we get to the part of the video when I wish I had notes prepared, because now I don't know what to talk about. There's probably like loads of questions and stuff I got asked in the last episode that I wanted to answer, or people were wrong about something in the comments that I wanted to answer and stuff. So I don't know what to say. Here's this horseshoe. You can sort of just parkour up to it. It's another one of those horseshoes that you have to turn your back to the road to, though. So there's like, yeah, loads of cops and stuff here. Thankfully I managed to not take too much damage there. But yeah, I don't actually remember too much about recording these. It was a while ago now, and it took a really long time to do it, so they all kind of blended together, so I might be as surprised as you are watching this back when stuff happens. Oh yeah, this one's kind of awkward. So this one is like on top of the building next to the steakhouse sort of thing. But what I like to do is, I don't know if this is the best way of doing it. I didn't like do too much research on these because I kind of like to pick these up blind and make my own strategy up and stuff. But what I do here is eventually, yeah, I climb over that fence, and then I climb over this fence again, and then if I jump, it puts me up there. So something about the position it puts me in seems to always work. And yeah, there's the 33rd horseshoe. And then my monster truck's right here, and I just get straight in it. Good stuff. What's the next one? Ooh, the next one I think is a really fun one. Yeah, so this one, yeah, I'm gonna go get armor. Oh, there's an Infernus. So yeah, this is another one of those really hard to reach ones. And I used to satchel jump up to this, and I think I do in this recording, but I fail it a few times or something. I'm not quite sure. I think this is the take where I take multiple tries at this. I'm gonna stop my commentary, check if it is. If it is, I'll speed it up and talk over it, and then get to the bit where I actually succeed it. Alright, I'm back again. Yeah, it's the bit where I mess up quite a lot. Okay, so I decided to speed this up a bit. So maybe the video isn't quite an hour and a half anymore. It's probably a lot less now, which is kind of a shame, but well, it's still a pretty long episode, right? So yeah, my plan for this one, I'm watching it back at whatever amount of speed with you. But my plan for this one used to be to satchel jump up onto the wall opposite and then climb up with the, climb up on the containers where the horseshoe is. It's up there, see? But then I developed the whole, like, jumping on two cars technique to climb up the monster truck and up on the wall, so I didn't have to satchel jump. Unfortunately, I just can't seem to ever get CJ to then jump on the thing anymore. I think it's because sometimes when I recorded these segments, CJ would lose fat, but now he doesn't lose fat because I was eating too much, so he, like, doesn't, he's, like, not, he's over 50% fat, so he's, like, too fat to jump high enough or something? I wasn't sure. So I kind of just gave up, got back in the monster truck and go heal myself, and I was planning, here you go, yeah, that map transition, I was planning to just skip that horseshoe and get it later and move on to the next one. But halfway to, like, healing myself, I come up with a new strategy of how I could get that one on. I've never tested this before, and I kind of did it on the fly, but it actually worked pretty well. So yeah, there you go, I put the map marker back, and I'm going to go back there again. It should slow down any second now. Yeah, okay, so my strategy now is to build up the cars again, but build them up in a specific way. So I was going to get the monster truck there against the wall, and then I'm going to get this car, and then I'm going to park it a little bit away from the monster truck. I think I park it too far at the start. Yeah, so that's just far enough that I can just jump from this car to the monster truck. This was like way too far. So I have to, like, push the car a little bit closer. There you go, and try it again. And eventually I get it just the right distance away from the monster truck that I can make it on top of it. So it takes a little bit. Oh yeah, I didn't sprint that time, so I tried to sprint that time, but yeah, I missed time to jump. I probably could have made it from there, but yeah, I decided to push it a little bit closer. So we got the car a little bit closer, and I think this is good enough now. Yeah, there we go. So now we're on the top of the monster truck. Now I'm going to satchel jump off of the top of my invincible monster truck. Which I've never tried this before. And boom, straight up to the top of the container without having to climb the wall opposite it. And I was really proud of that, and I was like, wow, I can't believe that worked. And the reason I was parking the car so far away is because I didn't want it to blow up and kill me. But the monster truck is fine, because it's invincible, so you can satchel jump off the top of it. Perfect. Just literally came up with that as I was doing this. All the other times I had managed to jump from the wall onto the container, but yeah, that didn't work that time. But yeah, got that nice satchel jump first time, without ever trying it before, which is great. Yeah, and then I decided to go get armor again, because I really didn't want to lose the segment at this point. I think this was the furthest I had gotten, at least the second time I had gotten this far. There was one other time where I got this far, but I accidentally flipped the monster truck driving it off of the top of a building, don't ask. And then I fucked up, but yeah, so this time I was determined to make it, so I'm gonna go heal myself again, and yeah, we go back there. Damn, I feel like there were loads of things I wanted to talk about, but I unfortunately didn't note anything down, so I kinda don't have much to talk about at all. Just kinda chilling and driving, I guess. Yeah, sorry these episodes are taking longer to make than I thought. These last few episodes they're probably all going to be like this, right? So this week I'm busy, so I really wouldn't expect one, tomorrow. I haven't recorded anything. And Sunday there probably won't be an episode either, because this Sunday I'm actually commentating the Vice City 100% speedrun race. That's happening on twitch.tv/GTA Marathon, one word. That's GTA Marathon, which is one word, yeah. Oh yeah, I get a little suck there because it's been nudged, nice. So that's probably going to take up all of my Sunday, and I'm obviously work Saturday, and I'm busy 9 to 5, Monday to Friday this week, so yeah, there probably won't be an episode Sunday either. Then Wednesday I'll probably start recording the next episode on next Wednesday, like 8 days from now. I'll start recording the episode. I might get one done that evening and upload it, but I really wouldn't hold your breath. So probably most likely is going to be next Sunday that the next episode comes out. Yeah, so I'm sorry these are so scarce right now, like not keeping to the schedule at all. And, I talked about the schedule so many times, but in any case, I'm really busy right now, and I have lots of things planned, so I probably won't get to it. And we're coming to the end of the master save, so I have all the really difficult, awkward things left to do, that are, like, really hard to do. Like this, for example. This was ridiculous. So yeah, I could, like, make this easier for me and do this, like, a bit easier ways. But I want to do it the cool way. I wanted to use the invincible monster truck, right? It was so much fun driving the invincible monster truck. Like, what more to ask for? So it was pretty fun driving it around and trying to get it here and stuff like that. But it just all takes time. It takes time to research all of it, to, like, it takes time to even come up with a plan, right? Like, I have no idea what I'm going to do for snapshots. I want to do something cool for snapshots, but I haven't got anything in my head right now. I haven't come up with any ideas. So I need to come up with ideas, and then I need to research them to see if they're possible, and then I need to, like, test them. And yeah, it's this. What I normally do that before the Wednesday, and on the Wednesday I start recording. So, researching and testing stuff doesn't take as long. But yeah, it's still pretty difficult. I think I fall down here if I remember right. Yeah, look at that, right on the corner of it. God damn, or the edge of it even. Just didn't quite make that jump, so I had to try it again. Thankfully, I managed to not get screwed by the police both times, which is pretty nice. And this time I stay on top of the wall, so I just sort of jump from here. But yeah, so like I said, there probably won't be an episode for a while. Hopefully, I'm trying to push through and get done with this master save segment. and then we can move on to like the next season, if you will, of True 100%, where we start the actual missions, right? And we can do the Los Santos mission season. And oh my god, is it going to feel so nice to get out of Los Santos. Like, this is episode 25, and I'm still doing the master save. And then, like, there's probably going to be another 25 episodes. How many missions are there in Los Santos? I don't know. There's going to be, like, another 25 missions or something in Los Santos, at least. So, it's going to be, like, episode 50 by the time we finally get out of Los Santos and start exploring Badlands and stuff. Oh, yeah, I get stuck here. There's no way out of that bit, so I have to turn around. So, yeah, I look forward to that quite a lot. But, yeah, just push through this end horrible master save bit, do all these difficult bits. I am so glad I'm not trying to get criminal rating in the master save, because that would have been like the next 20 episodes if I was trying to do that. But yeah, so thankfully that's not. Oh, Turismo. Oh, was that a Super GT? I couldn't tell. But yeah, so we'll get through it eventually. Anyway, here's the next horseshoe. It's just in these tennis courts. Yeah, down there. I decided to drive the monster truck through here, but then I get nervous about it, because, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but whenever the wheels hit a wall, the monster truck has a tendency of bouncing like mad. So I didn't want to park it in there in case a police turns up and ram it, and it bounces off of the walls or something and flips over. So, yeah, I decided to drive it out and park it out of here. Yeah, like I said, this is like my second time getting to this bit, so I really wasn't too sure where all the horseshoes were. So now I am sort of like doing this blind with like the map and stuff, looking at the map I made. Yeah, this is an example of research, right? I had to like check every single horseshoe, like online, to make like I had to try and, from images online, I had to try and figure out if horseshoes were grabbable from the ground or not, and which ones I could get, which ones I couldn't. And obviously I made a few mistakes because I had to satchel jump to a couple of them, but I got them. Yeah, so that's like a bit of research I had to do. I'm just kind of going around circles now. I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, been a busy boy. I've been a very busy boy. I'm trying to also, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've uploaded 2 non-GTA videos to the channel fairly recently. There was the Sleeping Dogs highlights, and there was also the iRacing highlight thing. I want to make more iRacing highlights. I obviously, you know, I am well aware they will be a lot less popular than my GTA videos. But I had fun making them, and it's like, you know, I have some enjoyable races sometimes. And the tension in some of these races can be pretty high as well, live. Not sure how well it translates to a VOD when you know what's the outcome is going to be, but yeah. Oh, look at all these Infernuses I'm going past. I should have got in one. There's one vehicle I haven't got yet, which is possible to get in Los Santos, is an Infernus. That'd be fun. I have some plans for the Infernus very, 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 very later in the game as well. I have a really cool idea. But that's probably like a year from now. Oh yeah, there's a good monster truck flip. Yeah, if you don't know, there's a glitch in this game with the monster truck called the monster truck glitch, where you can like affect ped vehicles in a really weird way. I didn't actually do any monster truck glitches in this video. Huh. I actually completely forgot about that. So when I recorded the segment, I was planning on like doing some monster truck glitches for fun, but I never actually did that. I'll have to have another episode dedicated to monster truck glitches. But yeah, so there's a glitch in this game. I probably won't go into it too much here, but it's a pretty well-known glitch, so you probably know what it is. But yeah, I'll showcase that another episode, I guess. Anyway, we're finally coming up to the end of this monster truck section. I'm like trying to figure out where this horseshoe is. It's in there. There we go. So I have to drive all the way around. But yeah, there's 2 more horseshoes to get, and then we have to try and get the monster truck back to Los Santos, which is fun. It is actually fun compared to the undrowning glitch I had to do to get here. I hope this episode's been entertaining so far. I really thought this would be a cool episode to watch with all the crazy stuff I had to do to get these horseshoes. It's just a shame I didn't have any notes prepared. I feel like my commentary has been a bit crap this episode, but... Is that a Sawnov I just went past? Oh yeah, I think I picked it up actually. Yeah, it's just a Sawnov here. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll take it, why not? Just in a nice enclosed area, there's no reason not to. But yeah, sorry I didn't prepare any notes. I normally do, and it was such a long recording session, I really thought I would have, but apparently that I didn't write down any notes for some reason, so yeah. Don't have any speaking prompts. I had a few in my head, obviously, but not too much to talk about. And we're only like 2/3 of the way through this video as well. The next part is different and interesting, and then the end is very, very interesting. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably have some hints about what's happening, but I tried to not spoil anything too badly. Alright, so there's another... Oh yeah, this is another, like, really high up horseshoe for some reason. I guess the guy that placed the horseshoe in the airport is the same person that placed that horseshoe there or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. That's all the land horseshoes done. 42 out of 50. It just leaves me with 8 helicopter horseshoes. Wonderful. So now we have to plan my daring escape to Los Santos. And it's actually a lot simpler than you would think. It's kind of funny. So yeah, take your guesses about how I'm gonna get the monster truck back to Los Santos. Go on, can you think of anything? Don't write it in the comments, just think of it. You know, me to you. If you're thinking undrowning glitch, you're wrong. We don't actually do the undrowning glitch. There are, to my knowledge, there are no spots to undrown vehicles around the border of Los Venturas. If I wanted to undrown this monster truck, I'd have to drive into the little beach thing where I got out of the water, get it into the water, and push it all the way to the spot where I originally undrowned it, and undrown it from there, and then drive all the way back to Los Santos Beach that way. That's the best way of getting it out of Los Venturas. But there is another way, and it's another reason why I wanted to use the monster truck for this, instead of the other 2 invincible vehicles I have. And it's this bridge. So the way we're going to get back to Los Santos is just by using the bridge. It's actually quite funny. You can probably see where I'm going with this. But here's the bridge. We're back on Los Santos Island, as I call it, and there was the barrier. And that's it. You just drive off the side. And then you're in Los Santos again, or Red County, I guess. I do get a bit stuck on my side here, and I'm like panicking, like, oh my god, is this whole segment lost? But I think I either flip it over or I get... Yeah, there it is. Flip it over. Good stuff. And I managed to get it back. So that was a really scary way to end this. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of that first segment. This took me a week to record. You wouldn't think it watching this. I kind of made it look easy, right? But yeah, sometimes you just get out of your monster truck to pick up the horseshoes, and then the cops just kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just what happened most of the time. And then other times I'd put a satchel on the ground and try to jump off of it, and then I wouldn't jump at the right time, and I kind of just blew myself up a little bit. That was pretty dumb. There was a recording of this where I put a satchel down, failed the jump, like I jumped at the wrong spot. So I went fully healed, came all the way back, tried it again, jumped in the wrong spot, hit my head, healed myself, came all the way back, did it again, and I kept doing that until I ran out of satchels. And at that point I just gave up with the segment recording and started again. One of the few times where me not dying is the thing that results in re-recording the segment. Normally it's just CJ dying that does it. There was also a few times when I managed to blow up the invincible monster truck. So I said that I managed to flip it at one point. I think I flipped it a couple times. Also, at one point I got into the monster truck while CJ was on fire. And even though the car isn't... the monster truck is fireproof, and CJ is fireproof, if you get into a vehicle when CJ is on fire, it sets the vehicle on fire instantly. And yeah, I kind of set the monster truck on fire and it just blew up, and I was really weird, surprised until I remembered and looked up again, and yeah, that's what happens. That was one of the weird ways of destroying an invincible vehicle. And yeah, the only other way to destroy an invincible vehicle that I know of is by using the parachute. I won't tell you exactly how, I'll let your imagination run wild with it. But I'll tell you this, it's a lot simpler than you think. It's really dumb. But yeah. Yeah, it's just driving back to where I came from, back to the safe house. It's the best one for storing the monster truck in it. because it's a nice big safe house. And yeah, that's the end of this hellish nightmare segment. I've finally done it, and I was pretty pleased that I had successfully done it. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break for a minute, get some water, and I'll be back when the next segment starts. Alright, I'm back. So, that ends the land portion of this horseshoe adventure. Next up is the helicopter portion of this horseshoe adventure. So I'll flash up the map again, and you can see the updated route with the helicopter route in purple. And those are the horseshoes I need to pick up with the helicopter. The only thing is, you might notice I am not going the correct direction for a helicopter. It'll become obvious very shortly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a kind of helicopter, but it's not really a helicopter. You could say it was a vertical takeoff and landing system. Wait, is that what VTOL is? Vertical takeoff on land? What the hell's the O? I'm going to use the Hydra, alright? The Hydra I got. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to pause and unpause there to make sure the Hydra doesn't get stuck in the ground. And then I'm going to use it. So yes, those wondering, I do still have this Hydra. I check every time I record a segment. I open up the save file editor and check what's in this garage, and there's always a Hydra. And I'm always tempted to tick the box that makes it fully invincible. No, I'm not going to cheat. So yeah, here's this Hydra that I have. If you're wondering how the bloody hell I got a Hydra inside this police garage, go back and watch the one with the Hydra in it. It'll be pretty obvious. I think it's just called the Hydra. But yeah, it's a pretty good episode. You should watch that one. But yes, I'm going to use the Hydra to pick up the rest of the horseshoes. And it's not just for style points. There is an actual reason for it. So one of the problems with using a helicopter to pick up all the horseshoes at the start of the game is that you have 4 stars, and other Hydras like to shoot you down when you do it. However, your Hydra has this fancy function called a flare. That's what I'm calling it anyway. I don't actually know what it's called. But yeah, the Hydra can actually shoot 2 types of projectiles. It can shoot rockets forwards, and it can shoot flares backwards. And by shooting the flare, it's like a heat thing, right? So the rockets, when they're heat-seeking, they travel to you. If you shoot a flare backwards, they get confused and they chase the flare instead. So you can actually defend yourself against the enemy rockets, which is really nice. So that actually makes the Hydra a pretty good choice for this. So yeah, now I have 4 stars. Oh yeah, not to mention I can also just shoot back at the Hydras. So you can see I'm dropping the flares, and the missiles get confused and leave me alone. And then I can actually defend myself against the Hydras as well. The only problem is the Hydra is a bit awkward to fly in this mode. It's not the most subtle thing in the world. So I did do a few re-recordings of this segment, I think. It took me a few times. I blew up the Hydra a couple of times, like smashing into this building. But I eventually take it nice and slow enough to get around it. So yeah, this is the first horseshoe that I couldn't really reach. I could probably satchel jump on top of a monster truck onto this, but yeah, again, I was only guessing which ones I could and couldn't get. But that's a pretty simple one, just get that with a Hydra. Move on to the next one, which is anything but simple. So the next horseshoe is on top of this sign over here. Yeah, there it is. Just on top of this, and there isn't much room. There's enough room for a sea sparrow, but there isn't enough room for a Hydra. Oh, there's that thing again. It's that guy. So yeah, there's the horseshoe. So I had to really carefully land this really awkward Hydra, and there is actually wind happening right now as well. You can't see it. There's no visual indication for it, but there is wind simulation in this game, which is really weird. But yeah, I managed to land it perfectly, not take any damage, get the horseshoe, and get back out. I don't think I take any damage. Yeah, good. That one was another fun one to do constantly. I kept bashing my ailerons on the towers, and then it made flying it in this mode really painful. So yeah, the next horseshoe is just around here. This one's not too bad to get with the Hydra. It's like you got this little circular platform thing here. It's enough room to land a Hydra on it. It's alright. Get there eventually. Easy does it. There you go. But yeah, so one of the main problems with this, doing this with a helicopter, is getting shot. Oh yeah, take a snapshot of that. Nice. I have to remember to upload that. But yeah, one of the difficult things is that you can sometimes dodge rockets with a helicopter when you're flying, but normally the Hydras like to shoot you as you're taking off with the helicopter, which is when you're like completely vulnerable, right? Because helicopters take ages to take off. They do the whole like blade spinning thing, and it takes them a while. So you're really vulnerable during that. But the Hydra doesn't have that problem as much. I mean, I still take off kind of slowly, but I can drop flares pretty quickly, so it's normally okay. And yeah, here I'm just having a bit of fun with the Hydra. It's nice to fly it around. It's like, whenever I want to test stuff in this game, I always instantly just type jump jet and get a Hydra right and fly there and test it. But flying my own Hydra that I got my own way is pretty different to flying like just a cheated Hydra. I try to enjoy it a lot more, and I'm a lot more careful with it, right? Because I don't want to break it, because I can't just spawn a new one. And yeah, this horseshoe here, I haven't actually, this is the first time I actually made it to this horseshoe, so I had no idea where it was. And I was like looking around for it while I'm in a Hydra. I think I eventually spot it. Yeah, there it is, in front of the casino sign. So I'm like, now I'm trying to decide where the hell I can land to go get it. And yeah, then I realised where I was earlier, I can just plonk it down there and I'd be fine. I get down eventually, there you go. So yeah, I can just run around and pick that one up. Oh, oh, there you go. I was like trying to be careful not to fall off, because I wouldn't be able to get my Hydra if I did. There we go, good stuff.
You fucking with a maniac.
Just a few more horseshoes to go. I don't actually remember what the next ones are. Oh yeah, the next one I get is on top of this building over here. So this one was like right next to another horseshoe I got earlier, but it's just inaccessible from the ground. There's one like on the ground, and then the building that's next to it, there's one on top of that as well. It's really lazy. Be pretty crappy if you're using a using a jetpack and just pick them both up pretty instantly. Oh yeah, and this news helicopter really harasses me here. I'm like flying nice and slowly, dropping flares constantly, being all safe and stuff. And this damn news helicopter keeps flying right next to me. Look at that! I was so terrified that he was gonna destroy me. So I was like, okay buddy, so I decided to like fly back a bit and shoot him with a few rockets. I think I only land one on him, but it's not enough to destroy him. And then he just keeps chasing me and getting closer. And then the other helicopter starts getting involved, and yeah, I just decided this wasn't a thing I wanted to be a part of, so I think I just try and leave like as quickly as possible here and just get away from them. Didn't want to like start blowing helicopters up and then die. I think they get close to me again. Yeah, like look at that, like whoa, buddy, and I like go down as much as possible to avoid him. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, what's that news helicopter up to? Oh yeah, and he starts shooting me here, so I try to get away from the Hydra until he stops shooting me. He stops shooting me pretty quickly, which is nice, but I just don't want him to like shoot the Hydra up. Oh yeah, and then there's like those guys, but thankfully he fell off the roof and didn't shoot me. The Hydra is really, it takes a lot of damage from bullets, I think. It's like really fragile, it feels like. I know every vehicle has the same health or whatever, but it's like, it feels more fragile, I guess. Oh Christ, that missile almost hit me, goddamn. Alright, so here's this next horseshoe. This is a pretty nice horseshoe. It's got like there's a parachute here as well, so you can, you know, jump off of a parachute is what you were supposed to do, I guess. Maybe you weren't. Can you get a jetpack up this high? Maybe you can. Maybe if you went up the car park and then flew there. But yeah, this helicopter's being a pain in the butt again, so I'm like waiting for him to stop shooting me and then I leave. It's a really good thing it doesn't blow up now, because that would be pretty bad. And yeah, there's another guy. I think he shoots me a tiny bit, but yeah, I just fly away. It's all good. So yeah, that was a pretty cool horseshoe. I like that one quite a lot. It's like encouraging you to jump off that tower, which is nice. Even though it's not that tall a building compared to the ones in Los Santos, but it's still pretty good. And this next horseshoe was a real pain in the butt to find. I had absolutely no idea where it was. I kind of assumed it was like inside this building here that I know you can get in this warehouse. So I was like flying around trying to see if I could spot the horseshoe, and I couldn't, so I assumed it was inside. And then I'm trying to like find a place to land. Like, it'd be obvious to land the Hydra on the roof, right? But then how do I get back to it? So yeah, I'm trying to find a nice suitable spot on the ground to land it where I know I can get back to it. Nice and careful. And yeah, this horseshoe isn't that high up. It's like on the ground actually, so I could get it from ground. But there's like a gate that's shut in front of it. And I think there's a way to get past the gate, which is a lot clever than just flying over it, but yeah, I wasn't sure what it was, so I decided to just do this bit with the Hydra. It was a little easier. But yeah, you can see I have absolutely no idea where this horseshoe is. I have no recollection. I've watched a few horseshoe speedruns before, but yeah, I mean, when you watch a speedrun, you don't memorize the location of everything. I think I spent a good few minutes like looking around these crates. I'm thinking, like, I didn't see it out here, and there's not one on top of it. Yeah, I'm really confused. I really could not find it. Where the horseshoe actually is kind of annoying. I can't believe I missed it, but I also can't believe it was fucking put there. It's so stupid. Yeah, so I eventually, leave there, run all the way back through the warehouse. Good thing I didn't accidentally despawn my Hydra during this or something stupid like that. Probably wouldn't because it's like a 3-minute timer, but yeah, it's still ridiculous. This is a pretty cool building actually, I like it, like all the walkways and stuff. I don't think you can get up there normally. The police can. And yeah, as I'm looking around, it's just there. It was right there the whole time, just out of sight slightly. So my assumption to run into the warehouse was wrong. I should have turned the other direction towards the wall. Like, so dumb. And that's it, that's 49 out of 50 horseshoes. We're done. I'm gonna head back to Los Santos now with the Hydra, and we're gonna park the Hydra back into the police impound. So the way we do that is actually a fairly interesting way. I don't just fly it into the impound. I actually do something different. But yeah, if you're familiar with how I got the Hydra in there in the first place, you know how. But yeah. You ever notice how slow the Hydra is before? Like, just flying in a straight line with this, it just feels so slow. And the reason it feels slow, I think, is because, I mean, obviously it is slow because I have to limit the speed of a PS2 game, how fast it can load the world and stuff. But it also has this feeling of slow because you kind of reach your top speed really quickly, and then you kind of just sit there, like, on the rev limiter, effectively, just doing nothing the whole time. Flying at like max speed, and it just feels really slowly. Maybe if you accelerated a bit slower it would feel better, but it doesn't. Obviously it would actually make it slower, not faster, by doing that, but it would feel better. I don't know, it's weird to explain, but yeah, maybe I'm the only one who feels like the Hydra is really slow. I know for like an actual military jet it is really slow, but it's the feeling of it which I'm concerned of. So yeah, here's the safe house. I almost walk in. I want to go save to get rid of the 4 stars. But that would have despawned my Hydra, which would have been really stupid. So thankfully I have enough sense to like move the Hydra away from the safe house. And then keep an eye on it and yeah, run back in the safe house. So yeah, I'm just saving to get rid of the wanted stars, not to do anything else. So I don't make a new segment or anything here. Just keep going. And gets rid of the wanted stars, lovely. Obviously you can't pay and spray a Hydra, I mean... Can you pay and spray a Hydra, actually? You can pay and spray helicopters, maybe you can actually pay and spray a Hydra, I don't know. That is something I'll have to test. But in any case, I didn't want to pay and spray the Hydra, and that's just the best way of getting rid of wanted stars. So yeah, now we're gonna go head over to pimping. And we're gonna use pimping to store the Hydra inside the police garage. So there's a mechanic in this game of the impounding mechanic. There used to be a mission in the game which explains the mechanic, but they never finished the mission nor the mechanic, I think. But yeah, it's like if you get busted in a vehicle, that vehicle isn't actually destroyed or anything. It's sent to the police station with you, and it's like in the police station impound lot, and it's stored. Basically, every police station has like a garage, like a normal safe house garage there, that stores vehicles, and vehicles get teleported to there when you get busted and stuff. But they also sometimes get teleported there during certain missions and whatnot, and pimping is one of those missions. So when you start the pimping side mission, all of your vehicles around you get teleported to the impound. So it just makes storing the Hydra inside the impound really easy. Way easier than getting it out, that's for sure. So yeah, here's the Pimpmobile. So we just kind of fly the Hydra next to it. Landed on this big, nice open patch here. It's perfectly designed for it. Say goodbye to the Hydra. Bye-bye Hydra. And get inside and start pimping. And then the Hydra disappears. And it gets teleported to the garage. And then it's stored there, nice and safe. And yes, I checked. It's still there, guys. Don't worry. It's safe. I won't ever let it go. Also, the Pimpmobile has hydraulics, so I was messing around with it. But yeah, that's the end. Got 49 out of 50 horseshoes. That's all we're going to do. Did the helicopter section and this section, and yeah, that's it. We're over. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, I guess. Okay, I'm joking. No, I'm going to get the last horseshoe, don't worry. But how I get the last horseshoe is very, very, very interesting. So, yeah. The last horseshoe is on top of a billboard next to a motorway. And there's not enough room to land a Hydra on it. And there's too tall to satchel jump up to it. So I had a different plan. A very interesting plan of how I was going to get to that horseshoe. So first of all, I need to go pick up some armor, because I really, really need armor when I'm going to do what I'm about to do even. So we pick up the armor, and then we drive to Los Santos Airport, and we just take a plane to Los Venturas, as you would expect. Also a train went past, and that's nice. Oh, a Packer. Do I take the Packer? Oh, what? Did I ignore the Packer? Oh, that's a shame. I guess it's because this segment took a lot of retries. Thankfully, it was a short segment, so it wasn't too difficult. But yeah, this took a few tries. I'll say that much. And I also talked on Twitter a little bit about this. I did record a version of this segment at one point, but it wasn't quite as cool as I wanted it to be. So I asked on Twitter if people wanted me to do the cooler ending. And maybe delay the episode a bit, and everyone said yes, so I decided I was going to do the cooler ending. But thankfully, I actually the same day recorded the cooler ending, so it actually didn't delay the episode at all, so I'm very glad. But yeah, so I'm taking the Shamel as we always do, just flying to Los Santos, flying to Los Venturas, and we're going to go get the one final horseshoe. So you may notice something different about my flight plan here. I don't know what I can say without spoiling anything. So I guess I'll just be silent, and we can just enjoy the sound of the Shamel, and you can all just take in what you're about to see. Some of you probably guessed what's about to happen, but yeah. Oh, so he's going to skydive to it. Oh, wait, no, he's pulling his parachute. What are you doing, Josh? What are you doing, Josh?
What the fuck?
Boom. Drop the mic. Walk away. Yeah, so I managed to... Oh, I will listen to this. Look at my health. So, for those who don't know, you, at maximum health, after you've done paramedic, you can survive any fall height as long as you don't have a parachute equipped. And you always survive it with like 5% HP or something. So, when I recorded this ending, I originally skydived onto that thing, skydived and then pulled my parachute at the very last second and landed perfectly on it. And that was all good, and I recorded it, it was done, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be finished. And then I had the thought, I wondered if you could survive the landing onto the billboard and then survive the jump off of the billboard onto the ground. And it turns out, if you jump in a really specific way, and you like jump the way that I did and land on the sort of hill that's sort of a bit more, was it south? Or, no, it'd be west, right? Of the billboard, you can actually survive that whole ordeal with no health and a blinking health bar. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, that was the last horseshoe. I tried to inject a bit more fun into this episode and do stupid stuff. I could have just got that at any other point. I could have just gone to Las Venturas, got it, and come back. But yeah, I thought I'd do something stupid and fun. For those disappointed that I didn't land directly on the horseshoe, I will fucking tell you how bloody hard it was to do this. And even land on the billboard, right? And then survive the police onslaught. They didn't actually do that much damage to me this time. And no one ran me over and instantly killed me or anything. I do have to get back to the safe house, but yeah, spoiler alert, I do survive. Herp derp. But yeah, if anyone else wants to try and do what I did, so just start a new game, drive to the airport, take a Shamel, fly as high as you can, and just jump out. Well, actually, I guess you need a parachute, right? Get a parachute first, type in the parachute sheet or whatever. Anyway, just try and do what I did. But try and land directly on top of the horseshoe. And if you do it, link me to it, and I want to see it. So this is like that episode where I asked people to do an insane stunt or unique stunt jump with a lawnmower. Well, now I want to see you guys land exactly on top of the horseshoe and pick it up. And then get back to Los Santos afterwards. So yeah, that would be pretty fun. That would be pretty fun to see. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have that much time to do it. I think that was cool enough. And I think giving everyone else the opportunity to do something really awesome would be nice. So yeah, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So yeah, thanks for watching episode 25 of True 100% Plus. Sorry it was a long time in the making, and I'm sorry you're always waiting for these longer than you should, but it's just how it is. Oh yeah, also, I realise it's a fucking VCR. I don't know why I thought it was a computer, but clearly it's a VCR. I don't know what I was thinking. But yes, anyway, thanks for watching. Probably no episodes for like ages, like I said. And yeah, I'll see you guys whenever. Bye.